Hey guys, Rod here again. Hey, before we get into part 2 of how I personally put together a player character, we're going to be going to the character record sheet, which is a fillable online. And I finally managed to get OBS to play nice with my NVIDIA card on my laptop. So we're going to give it a try. If it works, hey, great. If not, I'll have to go with the pencil and paper method to go through some more of it with you. And just to prove to you guys that I pay attention to what's said down in the comments, one of the viewers, triathlete, his name's Justin, he also has another YouTube channel called Game On. He had commented what my favorite 3 or top 3 stick songs were. And if I think about it, I'll put the comment up on the screen so you can read it. And just for your information, they are Crystal Ball is one of my all-time favorites. Miss America is another one. And it's really a toss-up between Don't Let It End and Too Much Time on My Hands. So, yeah, with that being said, I do wear my Styx concert shirt a lot that I got a couple years ago at the Amp when I took my wife Shirley there. I got her tickets for her birthday. She had a great time. And also the AC/DC shirt that I'd gotten for Father's Day last year. Those are basically 2 of my favorite shirts I like to wear when I'm making my videos. So, with that being said, let's get right to the video so I can show you how I personally fill out a character record sheet. For this character, I've decided on the name Gashan. It's going to be a wood elf, first level druid. I'm not going to worry about alignment and background at this time. Of course, my name is Rod, and we have 0 experience points because obviously we're first level. We're going to take a look at our stats or ability scores. If you take a look over at where it says current hit points, I typed in the numbers 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15. It's really funny that these are the numbers I rolled, and also ironically enough, it's the same numbers used in standard array. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm not really a fan of standard array because you get a bunch of cookie cutter characters running around, in my opinion. So we're going to start out here looking at strength. I'm going to put the 8 in there. Put it right there in the top. And over here we're going to get rid of it. Let's see. I want to have a decent dexterity on this guy, but I also want to have a good wisdom. Because druids need to have a good wisdom. We're going to do the 15 down in wisdom. And then we'll get rid of that. Over here. Put the 14 in dexterity. Take that off. This way we can keep track of everything easier. I'm going to take and put the 13 in Constitution. Give me a little bit of a buff there. 12 in Intelligence, which will leave the 10 for Charisma. Really don't need to be a leader at this point in the game. Let the tank or the beat stick handle that. Alright, now that we got our stats transferred over and put in, we're going to take a look at a chart that's on page 12 in the Players Handbook. This is your ability score summary. If you take a look at dexterity, the elf gets a +2 in their dexterity. So we're going to take and change that really quick to a 16. Also, if you take a look down at wisdom, the wood elf gets a +1. So we're going to take and change that also to a 16, which increased our ability scores a little bit. So to wrap up our ability scores, before I get into putting in the ability score modifiers, we have an 8 in strength, a 16 in dexterity, a 13 in constitution, a 12 in intelligence, a 16 in wisdom, and a 10
in Charisma. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this recording right now, go in there, fill in all these modifiers, and plug those over to saving throws and also to our skills. Because if you notice right here, our skills are associated with our stats. As you can see, I've got these numbers plugged in, and I'm going to explain to you what they are according to the ability scores and modifiers chart. You'll see that on strength I have a -1 for my modifier. That means that anything that is under a 10 and 11, which is a 0, you go down by 2s from 11, which would be 9 to 8, is a -1. If I was a 7, it would be a -2, because 7 to 6 is -2, 5 to 4 is -3, 3 to 2 is a -4, and a 1 is a -5 on your modifier. Everybody thinks that negative numbers are bad, but actually they're not. They can actually be good. Now going back up to the 10-11 at being 0, if you go up by 2s from 10, 2 to 13 is a +1, which you can see that on my Constitution and my Intelligence, there's a 1. If you go to 14 to 15, which is a +2, I do not have one of those. A 16 to 17 is a +3, which is on Dexterity and Wisdom. Now if I had an 18 or 19, that would be a +4, and it goes all the way up to 30, which is pretty much impossible because they cap you out at 20 in this game. And now if you take a look at your saving throws, the exact numbers that are on those little egg shapes below your ability score is also your saving throw modifier. So if your Dungeon Master asks you to do an intelligence save, you would roll a d20 and add that number to it to meet the DC that he or she asks you to meet. Also, if you take a look down at skills, you'll see the same numbers associated. Like let's say acrobatics is associated with dexterity right here, which on mine is a 3, and I have 3 right here for my acrobatics. Now at the same time, with my 0 in charisma, that affects my deception skills. So I wouldn't have a modifier in there, it'd just be whatever it is on die. But if you go to strength and look down, athletics is associated with strength, and I have a -1. So if I was told to roll a athletics check or any kind of a strength check, you know, like holding onto a rope or trying to pull somebody out of a chasm with my hands, I'd be at a -1 on my d20 roll, which isn't bad because odds are most of the time when you roll, you're going to roll over a 10 if it's a DC 10, and sometimes you're actually going to beat a DC 15, which seems to be pretty much the standard between 10 and 15. So now we're going to take a look at a chart in the Players Handbook. Like I said, I'm going to be posting all the numbers here for you guys as well, or what page it is. The Druid has a +2 in a proficiency bonus. So we're going to go to proficiency, and we're going to put a 2 there, right? Because that's what you get. I'll explain inspiration as well, based how we're on this side of the character record sheet. Inspiration is something that be given to you by a bard, or your dungeon master can also grant inspiration. I like to use little round discs, that kind of reasonable dog tags that you can get at hobby shops like Joann's or Michael's or somewhere. Hobby Lobby even has some of them. And I'm going to take and get a metal stamp to put on them. But currently right now I just have something written on them, you know, +2 inspiration, +1 inspiration. Because in my games, when we play, I'll have all my players cast a secret ballot from who they thought was the best player in that session, and then whoever wins or gets nominated to be the one who actually played their character to the best of their ability that day, or done something that was really cool and everybody thought was great, I'll grant them an inspiration token. Alright, now we got proficiency out of the way and I've explained to you inspiration. We're going to take a look at the class feature for the Druid. So if you go down and look at it, where it says saving throws under proficiencies, you'll see that they have a proficiency in intelligence and the wisdom saving throw. So you'll take and fill in the little radio button here, and then you'll go in there and change the score accordingly by your proficiency modifier. That increases my intelligence saving throw to a 3 and my wisdom saving throw to a 5. Then, let's see, it also says that we have skills that we can adjust according to the next page. We get to choose 2 from the following: Arcana, Animal Handling, Insight, Medicine, Nature, Perception, Religion, and Survival. So, for Survival, I think I'll increase that and take my proficiency. So that's going to give me a 5. Now if I have to roll a Survival Wisdom save, according to my Dungeon Master, I'll just roll my d20 and add 5 to that, which makes that pretty cool for me. Now I think I will also increase my nature, because that's kind of a low number. So I will bump that up to a 3. Next we're going to take a look at passive wisdom perception. In my case it would be a 13, because to get your passive wisdom perception you take 10 and add your wisdom modifier to that. Now there might be other ways to figure it out. I'm not sure what they are, because I've seen some pretty funky numbers in there just don't make sense. But according to the way I've read in the book, that's how you figure it out. Now you also have languages that you're proficient with. Now that takes and falls back on your race. Now I know that elves are proficient in Common and Elven. So I'm going to take and put language here. I'm going to abbreviate that. We're going to say Common. We'll just COM, and Elven. So we got Elven and Common. Now, also in here under class features, it also says that for the quick build, you can use Herbalism Kit. Now, Herbalism Kit does come in very handy, and I believe I will go with that under tools, which is right here in your proficiencies as well. And the Herbalism Kit, I will abbreviate that. For obvious reasons. Don't have much space to work with here.
There you go, guys. Part 2 on how I fill out the character record sheet. Let me know down there in those comments below if you think I might have missed something going over this little section that I did here, and how maybe you would have done it differently. I do read your comments, so keep that in mind. I like to respond to them. I love reading them. And Hey, just so you guys know, I do check the analytics from time to time on my videos. And right now it's showing that over 90% of the people that view my videos are not subscribed. So it's free to everybody. Just hit that subscribe button or ring that notification bell. You will be notified as soon as I upload another video, which might be Thursday or Friday, depending on what's going on this week. I know I've got a full plate going on, so let's play this by ear, I guess, and see how it goes. So, till next time, guys, you stay safe and have a great day.